I remember the sound more than anything, the soft, unanimous intake of breath when my sister lifted the keys. It wasn't planned, but it felt rehearsed. Someone laughed too early. Someone else clapped. My father stood a little straighter, like he'd just proven something. She kept saying, "No way, no way," but she didn't hesitate to take them. The box handed to me came later, like an extra plate set down after everyone's already eating. It was small, wrapped carefully. I turned it over in my hands, buying time. Inside was a ceramic piggy bank, painted pale pink, the kind you'd give a child to teach them about saving. Thought it was funny, my father said, not looking at me. It would have been easier if he'd just left it there as a joke, but the room didn't treat it like one. It settled into a shape I recognized, something between dismissal and expectation. Be a good sport. Don't make this awkward. I put the piggy bank back in the box and set it beside me. I don't remember deciding to leave. I just remember standing up and no one asking where I was going. Outside, the cold felt clean. It cut through the noise that had followed me all evening. In the driveway, the car sat where it always had, dark, quiet, uncelebrated. I'd signed papers for it months ago, mostly because my father had insisted it would help build responsibility. He handled the payments. My name handled the rest. At the time, it felt like a formality. That night, it felt like a line. I drove without a destination, just enough distance to stop hearing the echo of that room. Streetlights blurred into each other. I kept thinking about how small the piggy bank had felt in my hands. How deliberate that smallness was. My phone buzzed once. Then again, I let it go. When I finally pulled over, it was somewhere quiet. A row of closed shops and dim signage. I checked the screen. One voicemail. I almost didn't listen. But the message icon sat there. Steady, patient. My father's voice filled the car, stripped of its earlier performance. Return the car, now, or we'll report it stolen. He paused, like he expected the weight of that to settle on me. You don't just take things and leave. Call me back. The message ended without goodbye. For a minute, I just sat there. The words didn't hit all at once. They arranged themselves slowly, like pieces that had always been there, but never fully aligned. The car, the paperwork, my name. I opened the glove compartment. The folder was still there, creased at the edges from being handled too many times without much thought. I flipped through it, not really reading, just looking for confirmation I already felt. My name sat where it had always sat. Quiet, uncontested. The threat in his voice lost something in that moment. Not its intention, but its ground. I leaned back in the seat and closed my eyes. It would have been simple to call him, to smooth it over, to say there'd been a misunderstanding, that I'd come back, that none of this needed to become a problem. That was the pattern. Tension, then correction. Discomfort, then compliance. Instead, I saved the voicemail. It felt like documenting something rather than reacting to it. I started the car again, not to go anywhere specific, just to keep moving. The roads were emptier now, the kind of empty that makes you aware of your own choices. Another call came in. I watched it ring out. There was a point, somewhere between one turn and the next, where the fear I expected didn't arrive. Not fully. There was unease, yes. A sense of stepping outside something familiar. But there was also a quietness underneath it, like a room I hadn't noticed before. I pulled into a small lot and turned off the engine. The silence settled quickly. I took the piggy bank box from the passenger seat. I'd brought it without thinking and opened it again. The ceramic surface caught the faint light from a nearby lamp. I ran my thumb over the coin slot. The narrow opening meant to teach patience. Save a little at a time. Wait, accumulate. It wasn't the object itself. It was what it assumed about me. My phone buzzed again. A text this time. You're making this worse. I didn't respond. Instead, I placed the piggy bank back in its box and set it gently on the dashboard. Not discarded, not broken. Just separate. I knew going back wouldn't fix the shape of things. It would only smooth the surface again. I looked at the keys in the ignition, then at the folder on the seat beside me. The car wasn't the point. It never had been. I started the engine and pulled out of the lot, merging into a road that led away from everything that felt settled and towards something that wasn't. There was no moment of triumph, no sense of winning, just a steady, unfamiliar feeling of choosing something without asking if it would be approved. I drove until the city thinned out, until the lights became sparse and the road stretched ahead without interruption. My phone stayed quiet, and for the first time that night, so did everything else.